Hello everyone, my name is Haslam, and today we're going to be taking your questions and answering as many as we can in the short amount of time that we have. Basically, we group them together, and so that all the film questions are in one section, all the lighting questions are another, and so on and so forth. That way it's all a cohesive show. And basically we're going to try to do at least one question from everyone who submitted to us, so that way we get to all of you. They came from all around the world, so if you submitted a question this past weekend, thank you so much for asking. We love all your questions, and if you have any further questions, we look forward to hearing from you and getting those questions. So email us at info@matthaslam.com, or just go to our Facebook page and comment. Anything really, dig us your questions, definitely do that. Comment in the comment section below on YouTube, whatever. Our first question here today is about film industry, and it comes from Japan. I would like to pause right away here and say thank you guys from Japan. We love you guys out there. So far there's a lot of people from China, Australia, Japan, all over the world that have been great supporters of us. We definitely look forward to seeing you guys in person one day, so get a hold of a venue around your area and help us get out there. We would love to perform for you, as well as come out there and film whatever you want. We do travel the world, and I would love to see you guys. So here's your question. Do you ever plan on doing a film festival? Yes, I do. At the moment we're doing short films for clients, and we're so busy with that type of work that we really don't have time to do productions of our own too many. In the past couple of years we came out with 10 different music videos and stuff like that, but now we're getting more busy with everything else. So I have plenty of ideas for short films running around my head all the time, but time is definitely a killer in different situations, and definitely trying to find actors where I come from in a little county in Pennsylvania. There's not a lot of actors out here, so trying to find different people to collaborate with is definitely a challenge. But while I say that, if you are an actor in the area of northeastern Pennsylvania, please get a hold of us. We would love to work with you and collaborate with you on different products, so definitely do that. But I would love to attend a film festival and just see what other filmmakers are up to and see what you guys are doing at the moment. And someday, yes, I would love to put one of my own productions in there and give you guys something to critique on one of my own short films. But at the moment, we're doing so much other work, it's kind of impossible. And also I would like to say with that doing a film festival in Japan, I would love to come see you guys. Not just American film festivals, but I'd like to take my films and put them around the world. That'd be awesome. But send us what you got. I would love to see what you've been up to out in Japan or wherever you're from, and see what you're up to and have a lot of fun seeing each other's work, critiquing it, and I would love to hear from you guys on that. Tips for filmmakers. Oh geez, this is a big one. Alright, basically, the biggest tip I would have is shoot as much as you can. Don't have any excuses. I know I just said in the past question that we don't have that many actors, and we don't. This area isn't known for actors or arts or whatever, so it is a challenge for us. But that said, excuse me, we do a lot of productions all by myself, sometimes for my own music videos. A lot of times I'm the only person on screen, and yes, it is a challenge sometimes, but you know, if you're not going to film, then you're just wasting a lot of time. So don't ever waste time. Do something with your time. And there's a lot of filmmakers out there that say, well, I don't have the HD equipment, I don't have the best cameras in the world. Well, you know, kind of, unless you're Spielberg, you're not going to have the best cameras in the world. You're not going to have access to a Red Epic camera. You're not going to have access to all these different big budget things. if you're not a big budget film company. I will say that we started out with a simple handy camcorder like this. Basically, I borrowed a camcorder from my local library. It was free, and I got it on a week basis, and basically I shot as much as I could during that year, and then basically it came summertime and I was getting out of school, and so basically I wanted my own camera to do during the summer productions, and I knew I was going to be filming a lot more, so I got myself one of these. This was like $250, $300 starting out, brand new. It definitely works well, and there was a lot of camera angles that I wanted, which required me to put a camera over a cliff or up in a tree somewhere for the haunted music video, something like that, where I didn't want to put $1,000 or $5,000 camera up in a tree and chance of ruining it and damaging it. So I wanted something cheap, and if it broke, you know, it's only $250. It's not $5,000. So I wanted that, but it's only like 720 HD, which isn't a lot compared to 4K cameras that are out there nowadays that you can buy for around $1,000, but it does work great. Actually, these, we have 2 of them we're selling off right now on Craigslist. If you'd like more information on buying these, definitely get a hold of me. But basically, we didn't start out with the best equipment. We started out with that. We started out with a camera jib, a camera dolly, a tripod, and absolutely no audio recording at all for any type of film production. And now we're doing the best of the best. We slowly advanced our equipment as we could and as budget allowed us. So now we have Canon T5i camera, we have GoPro cameras, we have a Zoom H4n, which is our audio recorder, which we're actually using right now. We have all this equipment at our disposal nowadays, but back then we had this jib that cost us like $50 to make. We had a dolly which cost $5 to make, which isn't much actually for what it is, and I'll probably put some pictures up here, but basically our jib, we took I think 12 different ideas from DIY tutorials online, and we came up with different aspects from different people's way of doing things and said, you know, this is going to work great for us, this is going to work great for us, let's put them all together and make one design for ourselves that works best for my productions. So there was a lot of back and forth, what aspects should we use, what aspects should we just get rid of, but at the end of the day it works fantastic for us, and we're able to take a 7-foot jib or a 12-foot jib and just add an extension to the end and make it that 12-foot jib that we want for larger locations and larger shots. And even though it doesn't look absolutely best and professional, at the end of the day it's behind the camera and nobody really cares. There's other things like our camera dolly, which acts as a camera slider a lot of times, and we built that for $5. It has a couple dolly wheels on it, and we put it onto our trussing equipment that we have from the lighting things we do and this live stage productions and stuff like that. We have like I-beam trussing, and we use that as our track for this. Rather than taking a bunch of crappy PVC pipe and putting it on the ground, we actually just took track that we had from our trussing, made this dolly fit that track, and nowadays it works brilliantly for all of our productions. So just make do with what you have. Don't make excuses of, oh, I don't have this camera, I can't do this production, I can't go out there and film today because I don't have this. Go out there and film as much as you can. It doesn't matter what you're filming with, it just matters that you're filming. Basically, I say this with all new cameras, take a camera at least out for a couple days before you do any professional shoots with it, just to get a feel for the camera. But you want to film as much as possible no matter what, and there's probably hundreds of gigabytes that we have of footage that we'll never ever use, but it was all test footage from our cameras, and it works for us to look back on that and say, hey, this worked at this ISO and this different way to do things. And we were able to go out there and shoot and say, all right, this is what we need to change, this is what we need to do for the next production. You're always going to learn something from doing productions. Don't make a lot of excuses. It doesn't matter what equipment you have, it just matters that you're doing it. Another great tip is go on to Film Riot or Indie Mogul YouTube channels and find out what they're doing. They are brilliant at what they do, and they know what they're talking about. Just reach out to either us or them, ask them questions, and watch all their videos. They are awesome. If you want to know how to make some DIY or anything. Another thing I would say is invest wisely in to editing equipment. And when I say editing equipment, I don't mean necessarily Final Cut Pro, even though it is the best out there. We have a program called Magix Video Pro X, which works fantastic for us. I think we got it for like less than $100. I think it's like now up to like $400 or something like that. But it works fantastic, so you don't need to spend tons and tons of money on editing equipment if you're only doing smaller stuff, or if you are able to work the editing equipment better, such as Magix Video Pro. They kind of copied a lot of the things from Final Cut Pro and made it their own, and so it's a lot easier to use that editing program than Final Cut a lot of times. There's also GoPro Studio, there's also Magix, there's also Acoustica Mixcraft, which is great for audio. Tons of different programs out there that are super inexpensive but work fantastic. They copied a lot of the aspects from Pro Tools and Final Cut Pro and just made it cheaper for you to buy. So definitely look those up. When did you start performing and engineering? I started performing when I was 10 years old, and I started with a snare drum. A year later, I started with guitar and wrote my first song about a deer getting hit by a car, getting killed, and going up to deer heaven. That is the stupidest song ever. But since then, I've written a lot of other songs, and I probably write upwards of 5 or 6 for every one I release, and I've released over 350. Now, later on in my life, I started to perform with different aspects like piano. I think that started in like high school, and all these different aspects of performing. I saw engineering as a necessity for myself and my own productions, rather than paying someone, you know, hundreds and hundreds of dollars a night to come in and engineer for me. I decided I'm going to do it myself. I bought myself a Soundtech little small 2-speaker, 1 mixer / power amp system, and that works fantastic even nowadays for smaller things that we do. But I started out with that and just did as much as I could with like Radio Shack microphones and stuff like that that I replaced within a couple months of buying. And there's a lot of inexperienced stuff that I bought at first, and you know, shortly after bought the industry standard equipment that I should have probably done first. But I knew in the beginning, well, I might end up breaking it, I might end up smashing it somehow, so spending a couple dollars on a Radio Shack mic was worth it at the time. Nowadays I protect my equipment a lot more and than I did back when I was 10 years old. So it has a much bigger value now. So that's where I started with engineering, and at I think 8th grade my performing career really started professionally when I started opening for these major bands such as Recycle Percussion and Christy Jefferson and all those people. And so that's where I really got my start in performing, thanks to them. And then in engineering, it took off when I was like 15 years old, as professionally doing it for these major productions. And since then I've worked for engineering companies and stuff like that, and it's been amazing. I work with some of the best riggers, some of the best lighting designers and audio engineers in the world, and I'm so happy I had the chance to do all that, and I took everything that I learned back then and applied it now. A lot of people say, well, if you start at 10 years old, back when I was 10 years old, I was worried about going to the mall with my friends on Friday night. Well, my friends, you have to understand, were mentors in my life. They were at least 5 times my age, and they were all, these highly respected audio engineers and stage designers. So I hung out with them, learned as much as I could, and that's why we're so good at what we do nowadays, is because we started out from learning from the best in the industry, and now we're becoming our own best in the industry. So that's where I got my start. How old are you, and do you have a girlfriend? Thank you for asking. Actually, the person that asked this, I don't know if you're a girl, but I'm 22, and yes, I am currently looking for a girlfriend. I have had 2 girlfriends in my life. One was in high school, one was in college, and I released a music video a little bit ago called North Carolina Girl. Asked the girl out in that music video, and then shortly after that, I released another music video called Save You a Place, which is all about saving a place in my heart for a girl, at the holidays especially. So yes, I am single, if you didn't notice it in the music videos already. And there is a balance to it, I think. Somebody from Japan, probably not going to be girlfriend, boyfriend with, but long distance relationships sometimes work. I would like to say in that not every girl appreciates romance nowadays. Not every girl appreciates that. So if you're looking to write a romantic song asking a girl out, just be aware. Not saying those people are mean, I'm just saying that not a lot of women nowadays appreciate that side of a relationship of serenading a girl and all the romantic things. So I would say just write from your heart if you're a songwriter, but know that can happen. And I know I got a little bit off topic there, but I know I do not have a girlfriend, partly because, well, I tried to write songs, but it obviously hasn't worked. So yes, I'm looking, but how do you plan a whole production? Depends on what type of production you're talking about. Film production, we plan it probably weeks and weeks in advance. We go out to the location, scout it out, see what's there, what's available, and take snapshot pictures and still pictures of everything. Put GPS coordinates in our phone and everything like that, so that we can find that location again. Like with Haunted music video, it was actually 3 different forests that we used for that one music video. So we plan that whole production around making it look like one giant forest that I'm stuck in. There's other music videos, such as Sorry I Wrote You a Song, which were planned on being on a road in Minersville, Pennsylvania here. We planned on using that road for a very long time, then it snowed really bad and ended up where that road was closed down, thanks to the being too icy one day. And I said to my cameraman, I'm like, let's get out there and shoot as fast as we can, because I knew I would be walking on the roadway. I knew I wanted it to be a closed course, but there's just no possible way for that budget, at least, to allow us to close down the road and have a cop sitting at the end of the road just blocking traffic the whole day. So there's sometimes when your production needs actually work out fantastic and you're really lucky that something else happens around you that allows you to do it. Anytime you're planning on filmmaking and planning a production like that, definitely look at locations that are public locations like national parks, state parks, and all those type things. National parks and state parks, if you go in there and you say you're a professional filmmaker, or you show up with a lot of people or a lot of gear, certainly you will be kicked off without having a permit, and permits cost upwards of $50. or if not more if you're doing anything larger. But what I suggest is, if you're young, you can say, well, I'm just a student photographer, I'm doing this for a class product, and if no one asks you anything, don't say anything. If someone asks you, tell them you're a student photographer, and they'll pretty much leave you alone. If you're a little bit older, maybe just say, oh, well, I just got this camera and I just want to test it out. One of the greatest things about DSLR filmmaking is that you look like an amateur photographer. Unfortunately for some aspects, but brilliantly for other aspects, where you can go on to a national park site with a DSLR and no one thinks twice about you. They think you're just a tourist. But even with just a tripod or something like that, no one thinks twice. If you're with a jib or something like that, you might want to say to people that ask, well, I'm just testing this out, I just got this, or I just built this jib, I just want to test it out. I'm not really recording anything today, I just want to test. And typically they'll let you do it without a problem. If you're talking about a live production, it all starts with the location and the needs of the customer. And so you definitely want to see what their needs are. Typically I end up taking the needs of the customer and multiplying them by 10 and exceeding the customer's expectations by 10-fold. I don't accept anything less typically, and there's a reason why there's never been a customer that said, well, we haven't done what we were asked to do. We always over exceed what we were asked to do, so that's kind of why we do what we do and why we do it that way. If you'd like more information on the whole production thing of planning it, designing it in 3D software, designing light shows, all that kind of stuff, all the way to setting up the equipment, tearing it down, asking for testimonials later, all that kind of stuff is going to be coming up in an upcoming series on production, probably within the next couple weeks here. It's not going to be me here at a desk, it's going to be out there in the field actually doing productions. So look for that as well. But that's on the live production side of things. If you're just looking for the aspects of filmmaking, well, I pretty much explained all the stuff you're going to need to plan that side of things. Beth asks, where do you keep all your secrets? In my songs. I said time and time again that my songs are a diary of my life, and there's really no better way to say that than what I just did. If you hear one of my songs, or if you hear all of my songs, truth is, they are my life, and you probably know a lot about me by just listening to a song or two. Tips for being a songwriter. Well, I said it before, I've written at least 5 or 6 songs for every one that I released, so if you're a songwriter, write as much as you can. That is the one field I would say that you can't learn how to do it. It's a talent you're born with. You can't just pick up being a songwriter one day. It's something that I, along with other songwriters, were born with, and we practice it every single day. Like I said, my first song was about a deer getting hit by a car and going to deer heaven, and I've gotten a lot better since then. But biggest tip I can give is separate yourself from this situation. Don't always write a song as she broke my heart, or this happened in my life. Well, say this happened in his or her life. Separate yourself and say she broke his heart, and that way when you're on stage every night singing these songs, you can separate yourself from the situation, and you can have a lot more fun every night, and you're not going through this crazy emotional back and forth in your own mind. Tips for being performers. Biggest tip for being a performer is don't just stand there on stage. Don't just sit on a bar stool and sing with your guitar. Do something. Special effects are expensive, but they're definitely worthwhile at smaller venues. It doesn't matter if you're in a bar or if you're just performing during the day. Lighting is essential. If you are performing during the day, have LED park hand spotlights behind you. Have, during the night performance, have moving heads. It doesn't matter that it's going to cost more to do the production. Have them. Have some sort of lighting there. performers that are under the drinking age, I do suggest there's a lot of bars that require you to sell beer and push beer. So what I do is since I don't drink, even though I'm 22, I have never drunk and never smoked in my life. So what I do is I bring iced tea mix and water, and I mix it together, put it in a beer mug, and make it look like I'm drinking beer. I've made it look like I'm drinking whiskey with a lot of powder in there of iced tea mix, and that's what you gotta do sometimes to sell beer. So if you're underage, you can do that. It's a trick that I use all the time. If you're okay with drinking on stage and stuff like that, then certainly go ahead and do it. But remember, you are an employee of the venue for the night, and it is illegal for employees to drink according to the Liquor Control Board. So just remember that, and remember you have to drive home that night. Be responsible. Performing itself, make your show amazing. We've done rain machines, falling curtains, live projection, interaction, you name it, we've done it in performing world. We get our ideas from A-list artists who've done it, and we say, how can we do that at a smaller stage? How can we make these impossible pyrotechnics and rain machines happen on a small stage and do it night after night? And we've done it countless times before, and that's why our performances are regarded as one of the best in the area, because we've done that kind of stuff. It's not just about me going up there and performing my songs. It's not about my band behind me or whatever. It's about the show itself and making the audience feel like they're part of it. If you're a performer, go out there on stage and don't single out the girl that's young and your age or whatever. Single out the older woman in the audience and make that woman feel special. And that's a tip I learned from a friend of mine named Norris. He's a great performer as well, and he taught me that it's about making that older woman feel special. And if there's a couple out there in the audience, ask them, how many years have you been married? Make them feel important. Bring them up on stage and congratulate them on their anniversary or whatever. Then that younger girl in the audience will feel, oh, well, he's really nice to this older woman, so he's a really nice guy in general. It's not always about impressing the people that are your age, it's about impressing the people that really matter in the audience. And a lot of times performers overlook the audience itself and say, well, I'm getting paid by the venue or something like that. Truly, yeah, your paycheck is coming from the venue, but the venue is coming, their money is coming from the audience itself, buying beer, buying food or whatever. So I know a lot of performers out there in the area that are especially rude to the audience because they just don't care. Truth is, at the end of the day, their audience is what's paying the venue to pay the performer. Also, the audience is customers of your stuff as well. So if they're gonna buy a t-shirt or a CD at the end of the night, they don't wanna be talked down to. They don't wanna be treated rude. So tips for performers, just be nice to everybody. And if you're underage, don't drink, but make it look like you're drinking and push beer still, because at the end of the day, that's what the venue wants. If you have any more questions, if you'd like to start making money or continue to make even more money in this industry, whether you're just starting out or if you've been an engineer performer for many, many years, a great asset to have is my newest book called From the Mind of a Troubled Soul, The Untold Truth in the Entertainment Industry. A couple friends of mine and I came together and said, wouldn't it be great if we can write a book on all the problems that this industry is facing, from competition to just the different levels of the industry competing against each other, to just overall people not really respecting how much time it really takes to be an entertainer, how much work is involved, and all this other stuff. So basically we said, wouldn't it be great to write a book on this and say, well, these are solutions that we can come up with and can solve all these problems. And it's only 160 some pages, but it's a great read. I do suggest going to matthaslam.com and going to amazon.com, searching for Treble Soul. It takes a lot of my experiences from the first 10 years of this industry and experiences for other engineers and puts it all in one book, really concise for you, and helps you out immensely. We've gotten great reviews on it already, so get yourself a copy of it. Also, if you have any other questions that you'd like to be featured in Q&As upcoming here, please send them to info@matthaslam.com, or go to matthaslam.com or matthaslamproductions.com for any additional info on that. Again, please go to matthaslam.com for any performer needs you have all around the entire world. We go. We'd love to get out overseas soon and do a tour there, as well as if you'd like any audio equipment, lighting equipment, or anything like that. We go across the entire country to do that. And then if you'd like any film stuff from commercials, training videos, we just came out with a new demo reel, so check that out on YouTube, Vimeo, and as well as matthaslamproductions.com. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and thanks for staying with us the entire time here. It's been a pleasure, and I look forward to hearing all of your questions upcoming. Remember, there is a series coming out pretty soon on the overall production, and so look for that, and there's a lot of answers in that we didn't cover today on the live event type productions, but that will be coming out soon. So thank you guys again for joining us, and have a great day.